video of me faffing around with something. Surprise, surprise. So I want to do like a tiramisu inspired dessert, but do it like a semifreddo as well. So my recipe for a tiramisu, the cream part of it, is also the same recipe that I use for a semifreddo. So I've been playing around with an idea in my head that I wanted to do like a fake tiramisu, but I thought what we'll do is we're not going to use coffee, and we'll put some fruit in it. So we'll use some tinned cheap peaches, and because peaches I think I'll be best with a bit of lime zest in there, because I think mangoes work better with lime than they do with lemon, so I think we'll put some lime zest in there as well. And then I'm going to do two versions. So I'm going to do a version with mascarpone, and then we're going to do a version that's just cream and whisked up egg whites and egg yolks. So one version will be a richer version with mascarpone, and then one version will be a not as rich version, but I don't think there'll be that much kind of difference, so it'll be like a cheaper version of it, you know, because we're all on different kind of budgets, and I think if we can change a few things without affecting the taste too much, then we can still have really nice food, slightly cheaper. We lose a little bit of flavour, a little bit of richness, but I kind of think that that's a good thing, isn't it? You know. So and then also and the biscuits that I'm going to use were these for the fake tiramisu stroke peach semifreddo, will be these hazelnut biscuits that I made. So I had some leftover hazelnuts, and I turned them into flour, and then I folded them into a fatless sponge mixture and made these delicious little hazelnut biscotti type of thing. There is a video, it'll be there. I'm not going to soak these. What we're going to do is we'll just put them in the cream mixture, and the liquid from the cream will soak into the sponge and kind of soften them that way. Although a little bit of crunch with them won't be a bad thing. What else was I going to do? Oh yes, as well. So to help the cream set, we're going to take the peach juice and we're going to reduce that down, and then it's also kind of quite sweet is the peach juice. So by reducing it down, we'll intensify the peachy flavour, and we'll also intensify the sweetness. So we'll be able to use that in the dessert that we're going to make. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Peach Semifreddo, and then that will save us a little bit of money on the sugar as well. And also we're not wasting that flavour from the tin peaches. So to save on washing up, what I found with tins, if we just cut two holes in the top of the tin, there and there, and just jam a knife in, not one of your good knives, but just jam a knife in there, we can pour out the syrup that way. And because we've got a hole in the top there, the air can come in and the liquid can seep out of the bottom like that. Just leave it for a little while, and then that saves on having to strain things through a colander or something like that. So just cutting down on the amount of washing up, because to be honest I get sick of doing all the washing up. So we'll drain that, and then we'll reduce it down, and we'll have a look at that, and we'll be back when we have whisked up some egg whites and egg yolks, and kind of we're at the stage of combining everything together. Right, let's just think my way through this. So I've whisked up 2 egg yolks with 12.5 grams worth of caster sugar, and I've whisked up 2 egg whites with 12.5 grams worth of sugar as well. I've cut the amount of sugar down that I normally use because we're going to be adding this. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Gesundheit. We're going to be using this syrup, this reduced syrup from the peaches, which is a little bit sweet. So I don't know if you can see, but that's thickened up because we boiled it and evaporated it and we've cooled it down. So it's sweet, so we don't need as much sugar. I'd normally put 25 grams worth of sugar per egg in this recipe, and then we've got 300 milliliters of cream which I whipped up, and we've got the 1 lime. So what am I going to do? I'm going and then it's going to be 100. It's going to be 75 grams. No, a quarter of that tub for half this recipe. So 1 point. No, not even that. So it's going to be like 65 grams of mascarpone, because I'm going to split this recipe in two. So what am I best off doing? I'm best off adding, I need to add this lime zest. So I think it's going to be best off if we put the lime zest into the egg yolks and then whisk in the syrup from the peaches into that, and then fold that into the cream and then fold in the egg whites. I think that's going to be the best move. So, do you need to see that? No, you just need to hear me talking about it. And then we'll take... Nah, but I need to take that in, don't I? But we'll whisk that into there. That's what we'll do. Right, okay, so we'll mix all the zest and all the syrup into there, whisk it in, because it'll all amalgamate a lot easier, and then we'll take half that's in there and we'll mix it with a quarter of that mascarpone, and then we'll add half the eggs and half the cream to that. We'll fold it in the cream into half that cream into there, and then we'll fold that mixture into there. We probably need to do it on camera so I know what I'm doing, but I'll pause when I've added all this zest. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. Yes, I'll just faff around with a bit of stuff and then we'll be back. Right, so I have decided we'll take half this mixture, so let's just eyeball it. So that's the egg yolks that I've whisked in the syrup from the peaches. I might have said pears, but it's certainly peaches. It's definitely peaches. Does that look about right? So that looks a bit right, and it's got the zest in as well. So that's that. Let's get that out of the way so we don't make a mess. And then we'll take half the cream, like that. Half that cream. That looks about half. And then let's get hopefully the whisk will reach. Let's just mix these together. That will do. Let's get that out of the way. Create so much washing up today, it's unreal. And then let's take half these egg whites and fold that in together. Shouldn't really bang things if we're going to knock a bit of air out or something. And then let's give that a taste with fingers. It's pretty nice, isn't it? That's pretty nice. So that's that mixture. And then what we're going to do with the other mixture, we're going to take that, I'm going to take a quarter of this and mix that into that, get rid of that plastic. So, quarter of the tub-ish. That can go into there. So this is going to be the one that's enriched with mascarpone. Now, back with the whisk, and whisk that into there. So now we know that that mascarpone is broken up and mixed into there. Then let's add the cream in, and give it a quick mix. Scrape those off there using that. It's not really worked, has it? Fine. So that'll be incorporated enough into there. And then let's use the same spoon to fold in the egg whites into there. So what I did was I haven't washed the blades on the hand mixer in between whisking the egg white. I did the egg whites first because any amount of fat that that gets into the egg whites will stop them from whisking up. So whisk your egg whites first, then your egg yolks, and then whisk your cream, and then you don't need to wash the beaters in between each whisking. So, and then we'll fold this into here. So this is the enriched one. Oh, you know. That'll teach me for using small bowls, won't it? Smells great because of the lime. Certainly needs a bigger bowl to be folding that in. Let's just scrape that off there like that and then give it another fold. We're going to lose some air by doing this, but that's not too much of a problem. We've just got to minimise the amount of air that we lose by folding in. That's all we're really concerned about. Right, so you shouldn't really be banging on things either because that removes the air as well. So, right, wipe down, get rid of that, and then container and peaches and all that kind of stuff, but I'll get that together. Right, so we only need to show doing this once. We don't need to do both, we just need to show it doing once. So I'll put some of the enriched, the mascarpone creamy stuff in the bottom of there, and then I think yeah, so I think if we put the, what do we want bits of? No, I think we want that. I think this is what we kind of want to do. We want to build up layers. Put a bit of biscuit in there and a biscuit in there. A bit of peach in there. So these peaches are cheap because it's stuff that's just not it's not A grade. That's why they're cheap. But if we use them in things like this, I think it's fine. So then a layer of cream like that, and then biscuit there, and a biscuit there, and then peach and peach, and peach. I was going to do a version without the biscuit in, but I think we might actually have enough to do that. We might, no, probably won't. Probably won't. But yeah. So what would I say? I'd say if you haven't got these, I'd just use some sponge fingers. Essentially, that's what these are. I mean, they've been enriched with some hazelnut flour, but essentially they're just sponge fingers. So don't go to the length of making your own. Just buy some sponge fingers, and then peach again. So we kind of want to make it's like building a brick wall, really. Just want that bits in between, like that, like that. We've got a bit more there, and then just get it out of the way, and then finish off with a bit on top. Now I think there'll be enough. I think what the sponge fingers will do is they'll draw out liquid from the cream, make the cream rich because it's actually removing liquid rather than fat, and I think they'll soften that way. I don't think we need to soak them. I think there'll be just enough liquid in the cream just to soften them slightly, and hopefully they'll stay a little bit crunchy in the centre, which I thought that would be kind of quite nice. So that's what we're aiming for. So I'll do the same with the other one, and then we'll leave it to set up in the fridge for a few hours, and then we'll see how it turns out. And then what we'll do is we'll freeze them both and see if we can turn them into a semifreddo. So one will be like a cold set dessert, and then if we can use the same thing to make a frozen semifreddo dessert. But anyway, so see what I've done, see what I'm kind of getting at with the idea. We just need to do the non-mascarpone cream version. They've had a few hours in the fridge to set up. That's the one with the mascarpone in, because there's more in it. This is the one with less. So we kind of want to take a spoonful with the sponge and a bit of peach in it, which is, there we go, the sponge there, peach there. I don't think it needs a lime zest in it. I think lime zest works with peaches, but I don't think it works with creamy stuff, so probably lemon zest. If we're going to put any zest in, lemon zest. I don't think it needs a sponge either. No, I don't think it needs a sponge. I think we could just put the peaches in. Anyway, so creamy version, creamier version. You can taste it's richer. You can taste it's richer, but I think what could we do? The creamier version is certainly nicer, but we're talking about cost, aren't we? You know, in these frugal times. You only know because they're side to side. I think well, we're going to freeze it anyway and turn it into a semifreddo. I think sponge on the bottom, and I think an almond sponge would be nicer, but some kind of sponge with a nut flour in it, either peanuts or hazelnuts or like an almond flour in it. And then I think the sponge soaked in the juice from the peaches, and then I think, so we're not putting the peach juice into the cream, so we're putting extra sugar into the cream, like the normal kind of recipe we use for semifreddo, tiramisu type of thing, and then layers of the cream and peaches, and I think that would be very nice. And lemon zest, I think, but let's freeze it overnight and see what happens. Yeah, but it'd be nice with raspberries actually. Raspberries would be nicer. Yeah. So, sponge biscuits on the bottom, and then layers of the cream and raspberries. Frozen ones that have been defrosted, and then we could use the juice from the raspberries that are defrosted in the sponge on the bottom to moisten that, and then we can either serve it as is like that, or semi-frozen like a semifreddo. But we'll stick those in the freezer overnight and we'll see what they're like in the morning. Let's have a taste. So that's the one with mascarpone in, that's the one without. Quite like the look of that. Not sure about the sponge part. Probably could have done to be soaked if we're going to use it at all. So we'll eat the non-mascarpone one first. It's just come out of the freezer. and I'm interested in the peachy part to it. That's pretty nice, isn't it? The freezing certainly helped. It's just accentuated the flavours and and that bit of lime. You can just taste that bit of lime. Probably could do with 2 limes in it. It's sort of cold. Needed to melt just that little bit more, to be honest. Just could have just been done to be out of the freezer just a little bit longer, but that works actually. So the peach and the cream and the lime work. I'm not sure about the sponge, but if we're going to freeze it and make a peach semifreddo, that works. And either version. So let's just pick a bit from the outside, which will defrost it a little bit more. So add a bit of that. Yeah, that works. We can make that as a semifreddo. Don't think it works as like a that was my stomach. As like a fake tiramisu type of thing, but I think it works as a peach semifreddo. Either version, whichever you kind of want to do, and I certainly think you need to reduce the peach juice down and stir it into the cream. Therefore, we're not wasting the peach juice, and we're also getting that sugar and that flavour. And because it's slightly gelatinous, it kind of it improves the texture of the semifreddo as well. Ideally with mascarpone, or maybe we could put in some like strained yogurt to add some kind of richness, a bit of tart and a bit of acidity to it. But just as that started to melt, that's lovely. That's lovely. And lime rather than lemon with the peach. But there we go. That's a success in a few different